So you meet a cute little morsel, but before you can even say, "How you doing?" you display one of these nasty habits that instantly turns her off. Dude, if you scrap these nasty habits, you'll not only have her eating out of the palm of your hand, but you'll feel like a better man. Welcome to Just the Tip Tuesday. After we explore these nasty habits that instantly turns her off, we're going to talk about the one thing you can do that instantly makes her crave you more. Let's get into it. Number 10, grooming. So obvious. It's the first thing she sees or potentially smells. For example, you meet a girl for the first time and she's kind of cute, but you're disheveled and haven't bathed in a few days. Maybe her skin and nails aren't all that clean. Now, if you just come from work, that can be hot. But if not, turn off. All you have to do is ask yourself, would you want to be with a woman who didn't bathe very regularly? Say no to skanky snatch. Number 9, a bad attitude. If that made you kind of mad, then you might qualify for this one. What's a bad attitude? Generally, it's focusing on the negatives and being a downer all the time. Now, certainly sometimes that's warranted. Life is hard. Look at what's happening in the world right now. But if you can't look at anything from a positive point of view or find solutions for problems, that gets tiring real fast. For example, you're in line at the grocery store. It's a long line, and you hear a sweet thing behind you sigh. You're thinking, she's probably frustrated with the line too. So you say, yeah, manager should be fired for understaffing. Ooh, negative. Even if she's thinking the same thing, she will assume your natural default is negativity, pessimism, and impatience. None of those rank high on the sexy list. Instead, you could say something like, yeah, looks like some of the staff had the 26-ounce flu today. Ah, funny and positive slant. A man who makes the most out of things. Sexy. Number 8, along the same lines is being rude, dude. It's one thing to be negative in your own little world, but to take it out on the world, that's a whole other level, especially when there's no reason for it. And there's never a reason for it. Example, you get to the cashier and you say, about time, just loud enough for little miss to hear you. Not necessary. Not the cashier's fault that they're understaffed today, unless she threw the party. Acting superior to someone who doesn't deserve your disrespect, which is pretty much everybody, is a major turnoff to a high-value woman. Number 7, often rudeness comes from number 7, which is insecurity. Oh. Women can detect insecurity from a country mile away. It's not only in the way you walk, talk, act, and move around in the world, but yes, it's how you treat yourself and others. Just the tip. Women mirror your feelings about you. If you feel unworthy and insecure, she's going to feel you're unworthy and insecure. I've done a ton of videos on increasing confidence, and I'll put a link to that playlist below. Number 6, another thing that stems from insecurity, and it's a big one, is helplessness. Women do not want to be caregivers for a dependent adult child. Helplessness is the opposite of resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is sexy. You can either handle whatever life throws at you, or you can curl up in the corner like a child. Example, you've managed to work past her moat and you're chatting her up. She asks you, what do you love most about your job? Or what do you like most about your job? And you say, Friday, 5 o'clock. And then you go on a long diatribe of the disorganization of the company and your terrible boss and how you feel stagnant in the company. So she's like, well, it sounds like you don't really like your job. Is there something you can do to change it there or maybe find a different job? But you tell her it'd be the same anywhere else. So what's the point? Helplessness, not helping yourself. If you can't help yourself, you can't help her, you can't help your family, you can't help your lives together. Women interpret everything towards a relationship. Toddlers are helpless. She does not want an adult child who feels defeated before even trying. Did this hit a trigger point? Feel free to lambaste me in the comments. I'm waiting for it. But remember, awareness is the first step to change. Along the same lines, number 5, indecisiveness. As you probably know from watching my videos, women love a man who can lead and make decisions. Being decisive proves to her that he's made enough decisions along the way to trust his own judgment. to trust your own judgment. The only way to get better at something is to practice, which means you're probably going to have some faux pas. You're going to have some faux pas along the way. You're going to fall down. You're going to fail. You're going to mess up. But that's how you learn to make better decisions. Example. Let's say her comment about making some changes at work inspired you to talk to your boss about making some changes at work. But your boss really is a dick and shuts you down before even hearing any of your ideas. Then you get lucky, not in that way, but in a different way. Someone else offers you a job at a new company. Sounds pretty good, the pay sounds pretty good, but it is a new company and you're kind of worried about the security. You hum and haw for so long that somebody else gets that job. So you decide to give up trying because decisions are too difficult. This is a nasty habit. Decision making is a habit. That is an instant turnoff as soon as she sees it. Example number 2, more relevant to dating and relationships. You finally get Sweet Thing's number and she's agreed to go on a date with you or get together with you. But instead of making definitive plans and saying, hey, I'll meet you here on Thursday at 7 o'clock, you're like, well, where do you want to go? You think you're being the nice guy, but actually she sees you as being indecisive or lazy or lacking confidence. You're better off to say, do you have any food preferences or allergies? And then you've got some input from her, so you're considering her feelings and her desires, but you're going to make the decision, okay, we're going to go here. If she has any objection to that place, she can tell you, and then you can find a different place. Yes, that might be more work, but it shows her you can be decisive. Let me ask you this. If you don't practice a new skill, do you get better or worse at it? Right, you're not going to get better at it. You got to practice. And what did I say at the beginning? These are things that are going to make you feel like a better man. These habits, if you don't do these habits, you do the opposite of these habits, you work on not doing these nasty habits that instantly turns women off, you will feel like a better man because it will improve your life for you, never mind for her. It just happens that these qualities are also things that either turn women off or turn women on. Which leads us to number 4. Now this one's going to be a tricky one. Some of you are going to get a little triggered. Lack of or loss of, loss of ambition. You don't have to be a CEO. You do not have to be striving for the biggest bank account. That's what the gold diggers want. But I'm pretty sure you don't want a gold digger. If you do, you're on the wrong channel. But high value women do want a man who's got some kind of drive, who's purpose driven. It could be towards family. It could be towards career, not necessarily money. Could be towards making a difference in the world. It's less important what he's driven toward than the fact that he is driven towards something. When you have no ambition or you've lost your ambition, you become stagnant. Stagnancy can lead to depression. Depression is not attractive. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you are. Watch my video on depression. But I'm just telling you the honest truth. And please don't shoot the messenger. This is tough love. I know it's not some of the stuff you want to hear, but it's something you need to hear. You can still make your own choices. You could be like, forget it. It's too much work. Women are too much work. I'm bowing out. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. I'm not here to tell you you have to be in a relationship. Better to be happy than sorry. Better to be single than sorry. But if you do want a woman and you do want to improve your life and you do want to be the best man you can be for you, well, then that's the information I'm giving you to help you get there. For example, because of the crazy state of the world, you've lost your job. You put on a few extra pounds. You kind of feel a little lazy and you maybe haven't changed your sweatsuit in a while. But instead of looking for work, doing whatever you can, putting on a pair of clean sweatpants, you give up. Did this one hit home for you? Are you mad at me? It's okay. I understand you could be mad at me. Write it in the comments. Let it all out. You'll feel better for a minute. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I know that you're just suffering out there. I get it. Well, as much as a woman can. Now, lack of ambition can lead to the next nasty habit that instantly turns her off. Number 3, lack of accountability. So, if you already wrote in the comments that you are where you are because insert somebody else's fault, an ex, a boss, the economy, the world events, that is probably true to some degree, but it doesn't help you and it's not a turn on and it's not good for you either. So your best to do what you can with where you're at and with what you know. That's all you can do. All you can do is what you can do, but you gotta do something. And if you take accountability where you can, that's actually empowering. Yes, it's a crazy thought, but when you actually accept, okay, here's where I can make changes that will impact my life in a positive way, you're going to feel better because you can then take steps toward improving your life. We all do it. We get to a point where we're so defeated or overwhelmed or beaten down that we turn to the blame game. Example, if you use this phrase, it's not good. You guys stop that. It's not my fault because the economy is crap. There's too much competition. I'm too tired. The gym is closed. What's the point? Etc. Just the tip. A high value woman will be able to empathize with extreme cases of not my fault, but it won't be attractive. She can't go into mothering mode. Mother mode equals turn off, not arousal mode. You are always best to take responsibility whenever and wherever you can. You look for ways that you can take responsibility. Now that doesn't mean you say it's my fault because ... No, but here's what it does sound like. There's always work for the hardworking. If I upgrade my skills, I'll have a better chance. Starting with 50 jumping jacks and 25 push-ups feels good. Gym's closed? No problem. I can work out at home. Sometimes lack of accountability is very closely related to the next nasty habit that instantly turns women off. Number 2, lying. Lack of accountability is essentially lying to ourselves. I know. Was that like, I just came up with that right now. But it's true, right? If you can't accept accountability for where you're at in life, you can't fix it. You're lying to yourself, and not in a good way. Never mind lying to her. That's a whole other level of fibbing. As far as other lies, more blatant lies, here's a tip, just a tip. Women assume if you lie about the little things, you'll for sure lie about the big things. The best way to earn her trust and have her be able to be turned on instead of instantly turned off is to always tell the truth, especially when she's not going to like it. If you tell the truth on the little things that she might not like, she'll trust you on the big things. Example, you want to go out with the boys, but you think it might bother her. So instead of just being straight up about it, you say you're going to a work thing. That's kind of a little gray area there, and it's meant to deceive. And of course, she finds out and freaks out because she knows you meant to deceive her. Far better off to just say, hey, I know you want to get together Friday, but I'm heading out with the boys. You're not asking for permission. You are telling her what you're up to. If she has a problem with that, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Felicia. You're allowed to have friends. You're allowed to go out with the boys, assuming you're not out all night doing terrible things that you wouldn't want her doing, of course. But lying tells her you can't handle the consequences of telling the truth. You cannot have a healthy, happy relationship if there's not trust. Remember what I've said so many times, a woman's primary need is to feel safe, physically and emotionally. When you tell the truth, even if she doesn't like it, she trusts you, and that helps her feel safe with you. Now, let me ask you this. Be truthful. Have you ever got caught in a fib with a woman? What happened? Share your story in the comments. Okay, now this next one is probably something you've all got caught doing. Ready? Number 1. Checking out other women. Okay, so you know how I'm like, don't hate the bees because the bees got needs, as in women are a certain way and that's the way they're built. Well, you're built a certain way too. And just because a woman doesn't like that you notice other women, you're the boy bee. You can't help but notice other women, especially if they're hot. You're just built that way. Nonetheless, she doesn't love it. So if you can control yourself in the presence of a hottie and not check her out, at least be very, very sly, make sure your girl doesn't catch you, then she's going to assume you have willpower. If you can't do that even in her presence, she's going to think, what happens when she's not around? Makes sense. Now, this leads us to the one habit that actually counterintuitively makes her want you more. And that is when you are checked out by a hottie, but you don't give that other woman attention or validation. But you let your girl know that you did notice you were getting checked out. Maybe you playfully tease her about it, but that's with you. That's a little fun between you and your girl. That's not having any kind of eye contact or checking out or validating the other woman. What does that do? It makes her trust you and your loyalty at the same time as making her realize your value in the eyes of another woman. Perceived competition creates value. Okay, so which of these 10 nasty habits that instantly turns women off have you mistakenly or purposefully or just unawarely participated in? Let me know in the comments, share your stories, and help each other out. Try to keep it positive. And thanks for being here. God bless.